In this lecture, we're going to learn another backdoor delivery method. In this method, we're going to wait for the target person to download an exe, a program for example, and we're going to backdoor that program as it's being downloaded on the fly. So when the target person goes in and runs the program that they were downloading, the program will run, but in the background, our payload or our backdoor will run as well, and it will give us full access to the target computer. This is all possible using a tool called Backdoor Factory Proxy. And in order to do this, we need to be the man in the middle. So we need to be in the middle of the connection, just like the method explained in the previous video. We can be the man in the middle using ARP poisoning, or if we started our own fake access point, or using other man in the middle methods. What we're going to do is we're going to do ARP poisoning, just like we learned in the network section. So all the traffic will be redirected through my computer. And at the moment, I'm in a wired network, not a wireless network, because I'm using a NAT connection. So first, we're going to modify the configuration of the Backdoor Factory Proxy. And to do that, we're going to use leafpad, etc backdoor factory, and bdf proxy.cfg. Now, the only thing that I modified here, actually I modified two things. The first thing is I set up the proxy mode to transparent so that the target person will have internet connection. And the other thing that I modified is my IP address. So the way this proxy works, it actually works against all operating systems. It works against Linux, it works against Windows, and Mac OS. So as the target downloads an executable, the backdoor proxy will backdoor that executable. So in here, it offers you a number of shells, payloads to use. And all you need to do is literally just set your IP address. So I set my IP address here. As you can see, it's 10.20.14.203. And I've also set it for the 32 bits architecture, which is 10.20.14.203 as well, my IP. And if you're targeting all operating systems, then you should just put your IP address everywhere you see host. So you should put it here, here, and also down for the Mac OS X payloads. Once you do all of that, once you modify your IP address, save and quit. And then we're going to start the proxy by typing bdf proxy and enter. And as you can see now, it started the proxy for us and it's telling us that the resource file has been written here. This is a file that we can use to listen for incoming connections. So in the previous videos, we used to use Metasploit multi-handler to listen for one connection. But in this case, as you can see, we're targeting a lot of operating systems on different ports. So the program actually creates a resource file for us that will allow us to listen to a number of ports only by running this file. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But first, so the proxy is running now on port 8080. And we need to redirect anything that comes to our computer from port 80, which is where the web server usually runs, to 8080, to where the proxy is running, so that the proxy will check if there is any executables being downloaded and backdoor them. So to do this redirection, we're going to use IP tables, and we're going to redirect any connection that comes in on port 80 to port 8080, where this proxy is running. So I'm going to do that now, and that's done. Now I need to become the man in the middle so that I can intercept the downloaded files and then backdoor them using the Backdoor Factory Proxy. So to do that, we're going to do a basic ARP poisoning attack exactly like we were doing it before. Now, if you're using a fake access point, then you won't need to do this. So depending on the way that you want to become the man in the middle, you might not have to do this step. But in our case, I'm going to do a basic ARP poisoning to become the man in the middle in my network. I'm going to run man in the middle framework, and I'm going to just do the very basic command that we were doing. So it's man in the middle framework, ARP spoof, and we have the gateway and our target, and I have my interface. So I'm going to hit enter, and that will basically place me in the middle of the connection. So I'm the man in the middle now. Now all I need to do is listen for incoming connections. And you can use the Metasploit multi-handler to do that, but Backdoor Factory Proxy actually creates a resource file that will do everything for us automatically, because there is so many payloads that we need to listen for them. So instead of doing everything manually, we're just going to do MSF console. And then I'm going to put the R option and then put where the location for my BDF proxy resource file. So it's in user share BDF proxy MSF resource. I'm going to hit enter and wait for that to load all the possible payloads that can be used. Okay, so everything is ready now, and I'm just going to run over what's going to happen very quickly. So the target person is going to go, they're going to download the program that they actually want. We are the man in the middle, so because we're doing ARP poisoning, so everything is going to be flowing through our device. We have Backdoor Factory Proxy running, so whenever an executable is downloaded, Backdoor Factory Proxy is going to backdoor that executable on the fly, so that when the target person runs it, they will get the program that they're expecting, but at the same time, our backdoor is going to run in the background, and we're going to get a shell in here because we're listening for ports in here. So I'm going to go to my target, and I'm going to look for Download Accelerator Plus, the same program that we hijacked. And I'm going to go and download it from their official website. I'm going to go on the free download. And I'm going to save the file. And just before I download it, if you look in here, you'll see that the file has been patched in here by the Backdoor Factory Proxy. Now let's go ahead to the downloaded file. I'm going to go to my downloads, and I'm going to run the file. So I'm just going to double click it right here. Now you can see we actually get the normal installer for the program, and you can go ahead and click next and install it. But if we come back here, you'll see that we have a Meterpreter session 1 opened. So basically we have a connection back from the target computer, and we can interact with it using sessions I1, because that's the number of the session. And if I do a sysinfo, you'll see that we are in the Windows machine. So basically we have full control over the Windows machine, and we'll see how we can use this in the post-exploitation video. So basically we managed to hack the Windows machine based on a file that the target person downloaded. So we backdoored the file on the fly as the person downloaded it, and then they can actually install their program the way they want, because their program is working perfectly, but at the same time our backdoor ran in the background.